Pain and regret that on the 1st of November 1950, two Puerto Ricans came to Washington armed with pistols. Their purpose was to kill the President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, the 33rd President of the United States, Harry S. Truman.
I was taking a nap one afternoon in the Bear House where we were living while the White House was being repaired, and was awakened by a lot of noise out on the street. And Mrs. Truman came in and said, they're shooting our guards. So I said, just a backfire. And I stuck my head out the window and said, what's going on down there?
Puerto Rico was going on. The torment of 400 years could be heard in the screams below your window, could be smelled in the burnt gunpowder in the air. The twisted body, the twisted ideal. But men and ideals are not twisted by chance. They are shaped by forces we must understand if we are to survive.
The incident created quite a stir, and when I went downstairs and met the chief of the Secret Service, Jim Riley, he said, Mr. President, have you ever been in an air raid? I said, yes, I've been in a many one. Well, he says, was it customary to run out and look up when they sounded the air raid siren? I said, that's all right, Jim. I needed the scolding, and you've given it to me. Now we'll call it a day.
But we could not call it a day. 1,500 miles from your house, our streets were also red with blood and filled with the stench of death. This was your problem. A piece of America far to the south, a bit of the red, white, and blue, slightly soiled, we're sad to admit, and torn between those who demanded independence and those who opposed it. And the balance were our lives and yours, Mr. Truman, and only you could decide.
They had tried to kill me, and I knew that they'd try it again. I knew who they were. They were a bunch of fanatics that wanted an independent Puerto Rico. They wanted to influence the decision that was to be made on the government of Puerto Rico.
Freedom is a great volcano which erupted all over the earth at the end of the Second World War. It came from a promise made by two men on a ship, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Winston Churchill. A promise called the Atlantic Charter, which said that all people of the world had a right to choose the form of government under which they will live.
The island of Puerto Rico, as you see, is 1,000 miles from the tip of Florida. It's the third island over there. This is Cuba, and that's Haiti, and that's Puerto Rico, and this is Jamaica here. Here's the Panama Canal down here. So you see the strategic importance of Puerto Rico to the United States of America. And another thing about Puerto Rico, they are citizens of the United States. They're the only Spanish citizens that we've ever had. And they are good citizens. Puerto Rico was discovered by Christopher Columbus and annexed to Spain. It was a colony of Spain for 400 years.
The 15th and 16th centuries were the years of discovery. Europe was about to spread Western civilization throughout the flat world. She was determined to start a golden era. Of course, the goal was to go to Europe. It would be taken from the islands, bits of paradise resting in the great oceans. Now, brave explorers step onto unknown exotic lands. For the Spaniards, there was the hope of riches. For the Borinquen Indians hiding in the tropical forest, there was the excited hope of a new and greater life. Their island was to join the civilized world. And there was a new life for the natives of Puerto Rico. Under the rule of Spain, there was a new life of subjugation and slavery and death, a life that would not let up for 400 years.
Columbus discovered it on his second voyage to the Western Hemisphere, and it remained a colony of Spain until we had a war with Spain in 1898, the Spanish-American War. In 12 weeks, we had taken over Puerto Rico and annexed it to the United States.
When your battleship Maine was sunk in Havana, you went on a crusade to end the cruel domination of Cuba and Puerto Rico by Spain. The entire campaign lasted 12 weeks. When it was over, Cuba was granted its independence, and Puerto Rico became a possession of the United States.
We weren't the only nation that was expanding in the 19th century. England was doing it, France was doing it, Russia was doing it. I don't mean to imply that we were in any way cruel to the Puerto Ricans, but there is another kind of cruelty. That's indifference and neglect.
I was a boy in Puerto Rico. My name is not important. You need only know that I am a Puerto Rican by birth and an American citizen by law.